All right, Shalom. I'll start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bashum, Yahushai, Bashum, Arachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And I just got to quote Daniel, in which in the 12th chapter, around the 10th verse, it says that many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. When you break these scriptures down and comprehend them and understand them, it's actually made plain and crystal clear to you. But when you're wicked, you're not going to be able to receive it because it's a stumbling block. Even the simplest things in the scriptures can be a stumbling block if you're not right. All right. And Vocab, he's an example of a vessel that the Lord is not he's not using, because you belong to the wicked. All right. Also quoting Sirach, the 39th chapter, the 28th verse. But the ways of the Lord are plain unto the holy, but so shall they be stumbling blocks to the wicked. So it's a reason why he doesn't understand the scriptures like that. And he exposes himself, every time he tries to go live and come at our, attack our teachings, attack our faith. He just, looks more and more, defeated. So, this is the latest live stream that he put up, where he's, I guess, dissecting a video that the deacon over at the Sakari did. And I guess the topic was Jacob and Esau. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video. I saw that the elder Apostle Gabar had did a lesson responding to this. I didn't get a chance to watch it all the way through, but you know how it goes. You watch certain videos and certain things are said and it kind of sparks you. The spirit hops on you. So that's pretty much, what's going on in the spirit. But I'm going to just, pause at points and just respond. All right. This dude, he always shows that he's not as wise as you think he is. He just gives that perception because he uses, certain theological terms, because he went through a theological seminary and he didn't really learn shit outside of, using cunning craftiness with his mouth. All right. But those that are learned and in his spirit, you can see right through them. So anyway, let's listen real quick.
If your father is an Israelite, you're an Israelite. Okay, you are who your father is what they say.
The Talmud was written from 200 AD to 500 AD.
But if we're going to be consistent, that has to work for Esau as well. So
Yes, it does.
the question is, if ethnicity is passed down on the father's side, and if you are what your father is,
Now watch this. We already got we got it on the cross. We got the nails in our hands. We got the nails in both hands.
He's talking about crucifying. Like, what is wrong with you, bro? First of all, he's actually ignoring what she's saying. You see? He's just doing this, we're about to crucify her. Like, what?
Now this is the nail in the feet, and then this word we're done.
And that shows you the lack of respect that Sakari had for the Lord. Because why would you even, seriously, what does that have to do with anything? And why are you using that? They have no respect. But anyway, that's not, the point.
so the question is, if ethnicity is
No, the nails are on the inner feet. We're about to pierce her side with this one.
consistent, that has to work for Esau as well. So the question is, if ethnicity is passed down on the father's side, and if you are what your father is, this is the question. What was the color and the ethnicity of Esau's father? The reasoning on this is going to be kind of tricky, because according to their own doctrine, Esau would have...
So Vocab thinks she's on to something with this talking point. Well, technically, if you are what your father is, because that's what y'all teach, then how is Esau not one of y'all? How is he? Yeah, he comes from the same father, and y'all teach that you are what your father is. So how could that sever Esau from yourself. That's basically what they're trying to say, which really is it's a dumb argument, because the Lord already explained, all right, to Rebecca that there was going to be two different nations that were going to be in her womb. All right, and we're gonna get to that, but I mean it's very simple. If you're struggling with that, but yet you believe that the Lord literally had Mary impregnated by a spirit, all right, you can believe that Mary didn't conceive actual physical seed from Joseph and still have the Lord, but yet you can't grasp the concept of the Lord having two people born in the same womb that would come out to be progenitors of two different nations. You can't see that. So there you're looking funny in the light. All right. The Lord can do. Matter of fact, let me get a quick precept. The Lord can do anything He wants. Remember, we're the clay that's in the potsherer's hand. Matter of fact, let me get Isaiah 45. Let's establish that the Lord can do what He wants with His creation. You can't tell Him how, when, what to do with his creation. Isaiah 45 and verse 9, it says, "Woe unto him that striveth with his maker, let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, What makest thou? Or thy work, he have no hands? Woe unto him that saith unto his father, What begettest thou? Or to the woman, What hast thou brought forth? Thus saith the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, and his Maker, ask me of the things to come concerning my sons, and concerning the work of my hands, command ye me." In other words, I dare you to try to instruct me on what I do with my own creation. All right. "I have made the earth and created man upon it. I, even my hands, have stretched out the heavens, and all their hosts have I commanded." And let me go from there to Isaiah 55, showing that the Lord's ways are not our ways. Isaiah 55 and 8, it says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, says the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So they're trying to comprehend and make sense of it as if it doesn't make sense, when the Lord, He can do anything with His creation. He specifically chose two spirits to come down into one womb, all right, that came from seed from one man, and the Lord made two separate nations out of them. And the entire story, the whole movie, was going to be about those two characters and their descendants. And they were going to be two polar opposites, and they were going to be the biggest rivals. That's how the Lord made it. How is that hard to understand? It's a stumbling block because you're the damn wicked, man. But anyway, let me get one more verse. Let's go to hold on, let me just type this in. It is a few verses. I'll read the one in Matthew, and I'll read the one in Luke. It's Matthew 19 and 26. It says, "But Yahushua beheld them and said unto them, With men this is impossible, but with the Most High all things are possible." Okay? The Lord can do what He wants with His creation. He even had, what was the name of the servant of Elisha, if I'm not mistaken. And after he healed Naaman, the captain of the Syrian army, he had leprosy. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, 2 Kings 5. And I'm going to just go straight to the point. But this is what the Lord did to the servant of Elisha when he pretty much didn't follow through on the instruction. He got greedy, and he tried to take gift that Elisha told him not to take. Right? This is Second Kings 5:24. It says, and when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house, and he let the men go, and they departed. And he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said unto him, whence comest thou, Gehazi? That was his name. And he said, thy servant went no whither. So he lied. And he said unto me, Saki, and he said unto him, went not my heart with thee when the men turn again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it time to receive money and to receive receive garments and olive yards and vineyards and sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants? The leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto thee and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence, a leper as white as snow. So you know what this is saying? From now on, because you did this was a curse. From now on, since you did this, I'm going to turn you into a straight up albino. I'm going to turn you to a leper. And guess what? All your children and your children's children are going to have that same curse. So you got a family of Jake that's just, anytime they come back, they're just leprous. They come out looking like a so-called white person, but clearly an Israelite. So the Lord can do that. Okay? Because he's the potsherd, and we're the clay. If the Lord wants to turn you into a nation of lepers, he can do that. And a lot of people have a hard time believing that when the Lord had the Edomites born, when he had Esau born, and then, he had children, he went to a Canaanite, tried to, get some pigment. They act like as if the Lord can't keep his appearance and make that cleave to them. And that's why you got guys like Fopi that's teaching that Esau's he's a black man. He still has his pigmentation. He just has red hair. That's come on, man. That's ludicrous, man. All right. So the Lord he has that ability. He can do that. And it just so happened that Esau, that's how we can identify them. They have no pigmentation. They're clean lepers, and the Lord made that curse cleave to them. All right. So even when they try to blend in with us, yeah, at times they do have children that come out with pigment, and those what you call tares. All right. That meaning these are basically melanated Edomites, if you will. You have those out there, and then you have Edomites that don't have any melanin. Okay. And then you got Israelites that have no melanin. Okay. You got albinos. You have Jake that lay down with Edomite women, and then their son might grow up and he might later down the line deal with an Edomite woman. Them children are already looking like full Edomites. They don't look nothing like Jake, blue eyes and all, but are clearly Jake, because you are what your father is. Your seed is determined by the father. And that's very simple to understand. So let's go back to the video.
Inherited his ethnicity and color from his father, but the problem is that Esau's father is the same man as Jacob's father. And so now we have Hebrew Israelites descending from a white man.
Oh. And then Vocab put uh-oh like that. Was basically what she's saying is that no black man can produce a white man. Now we could go to the Bible.
That's not what she actually said. She's challenging you, silly guys, on your own presuppositions. But Hakah can't actually just deal with what she said. He has to say, what she's saying is, but notice how his presuppositions are just in full orb. They're just blowing up here. No black man can produce a white man. He's assuming the accuracy okay, that Esau's father was a black man in the way Hakah understands it, and Esau was a white man in the way Hakah misunderstands it. So Dinu clearly doesn't share that misunderstanding. So why should she be saying no black man can produce a white man? She's not saying that because she doesn't think that. She's challenging you on your own dumb presuppositions, Hakah. Sometimes I hate doing these reviews, honestly.
I will show you in Genesis 25 and 25 how he came out with red pigment.
That's not what it says. It doesn't say he came out with red pigment. But if we're going to use the word there that is sometimes translated as ruddy, because I know what you're talking about in Genesis 25, you know what's going to happen to you, Hakah. You need to explain why the same exact Hebrew word is applied to King David. You don't get to use it one way for Esau and another way for King David.
I wonder why. Because you can use hell when you try to go into the concept of hell. It does apply different ways. Like, for example, in the New Testament, the word hell in the Greek, Hades. Hades can basically mean being brought to naught, basically being brought to, like he says, Capernaum, that ought to be brought down to hell. What did he mean by that? What was the context of that? Is he saying that he can take a whole city and cast it into the nether realm? All he was simply saying, in which a lot of these uninformed Christians that they have no discernment, they don't have the spirit. They always think when they read that word hell, it simply means this mysterious place, as if the Lord was teaching mythology. But the Lord was basically just using it as a comparison. It was parabolic. Capernaum that are in heaven shall be brought down to hell, meaning you living in this comfort zone of paradise. You know, you got flowing wealth through your community and all that. You're comfortable. You ought to be brought down to hell. Meaning what? You need to be brought down to a city, all right, where you're not as comfortable. All right, turn your Hollywood into a Watts. You know, go from a suburban type of neighborhood to a straight ghetto. It needs to be brought down. So was he actually talking about a literal place called hell? And then there's the context where it applies to the grave. He will not suffer his body to be left in hell. Neither shall he see corruption. That's talking about the actual grave. So stuff like this? It's scriptures say wisdom is too high for a fool, man. Now, going back to the talking point, ruddy can be applied in different ways. Like, for example, when it talks about Esau, let's go to Genesis 25 and 25. I'll start at 23. It says, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So these are going to be 2 polar opposites, 2 different people that was going to begin the start of 2 nations, right? And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And y'all like to talk about context, right? First of all, being hairy doesn't determine your complexion. Let me repeat it again. Being hairy has nothing to do with your complexion. So why did they say like an hairy garment? Why was this usage here? Because it's comparing how back in the ancient world, and this was a custom, they used to wear or even use animal skin, whether they would use it as raiment or whether they use it to make tents. If you made a tent or if you used it for a raiment or a garment, they would actually dye the color of the hair, the fur. That's why it's used in comparison of a hairy garment, because of the color dye that they would use. Let's go to an example. Let's go to Exodus 26. This is Exodus 26 and 14. And it says, and thou shalt make a covering for the tent of ram skin. And this is basically hair, right? This is basically the tent is going to be made out of the texture of ram skin, which is hairy, right? Dyed red. So they used to actually dye the ram skin red. That was a thing that they used to do. So that's why it's being used in comparison, and a covering above the badger's skin. So reading it again, it says, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And this is one of the mistakes that people make, and think that that's actually, when you look up the name Esau, that they believe that it actually means hairy, because the comparison of a hairy garment is used to describe Esau. So when you go there, you got it's like a Ishashwa, right? And they'll say it means hairy, and this is where the blue letter goes off. Esau does not mean hairy, all right? Because when you actually look up Mount Seir or Seir, that actually means, let's go to it. That actually means hairy. Let's look up that word, Seir. Sha'ayar in the Hebrew, hairy or shaggy. Okay. This is the definition for hairy. Sha'ayar, okay? Seir. So what does Esau mean? When he was born, when he came out of the womb, you know, what made them say Ishashwa or from the root Isha, right? Or Ishash. What did they mean? Because they saw his appearance and they described him. They didn't do the same when Jacob came out. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So let's go from there. Let's go to this root word. This is H. Was it H624? Yeah, H6244. And you see it's Ishash. And what does it mean? To waste away. And so what's wasted away? There, his pigment. Okay, his pigment. This is why they called him Esau. And they saw that his skin being translucent, so you could see the blood through the skin, and that's what makes them red. That's why it gives them that red hue. They look, pinkish, and then the more nervous they get, or if you put your hands on them, they easily become super red. So that's what they saw, and that's why they named him that. Now, in the case of David being ruddy, I went here, and I remember bringing this out a couple years back. This is from the International Standard Bible Encyclopedia. and that is for the word ruddy. And it says it gives you the scripture 1 Samuel 16:12, 17:42, and that's describing King David. Genesis 25:25, the Revised Version margin. Adam, Song of Solomon 5:10, right? Lamentation 4:7. It also says in that same lamentation, or I think maybe the chapter over, that their visage is more blacker than the coal. So they're white they're white, ruddy, and black. That's to you, vocab. And then let's read this definition. It says ruddy is the form taken by the adjective red when used as a term of praise of the human skin. And this is its use in the Bible. The Hebrew and Greek words all are usual words for red or to be red. The dark-skinned Hebrews, showing you that the Hebrews are actually dark-skinned people. Not you Edomites, you're not dark-skinned, obviously. Found great beauty in a clear complexion. So if they use the term ruddy, that means that your complexion was very dazzling, very youthful, very clear. Okay. So it's a reason why they used it in that form, describing King David, versus literally using the term red to describe Esau. Esau literally came out with no pigment. That's why he's being compared to as a red, hairy garment, some type of animal skin that's dyed red. Because he was red. He came out red. All right. Two people of color came. They had their child, and he came out looking like this baby. These two Nigerians, they had a seed. They had other children, and they looked normal. They had pigmentation, but you had this one baby right here. He came out looking like an Edomite, and he's gonna grow up looking like an Edomite. I'm pretty sure this was from years ago. So that child is I'm pretty sure older now. If he walks around, you're gonna mistake him for a Caucasian. But you clearly see that both of his parents, the father and the mother, are both people of color. So what do you got to say? So let's go back.
You don't get to do that, but that's what you'll try to do, because that's not what it means.
We can show that. Right.
It does mean that, and I just showed that example. Okay, you don't know what the hell you talking about.
Now, they will say, well, King David, that same word is used, but there's different shades of red. Black community, yeah, red.
You're going to love it. But there's different shades of red in the black community. Well, wait, but Esau's not part of the black community, right? And I thought you're not black Hebrew Israelites anyway. But notice how they slip back and forth between black and Hebrew. And you see what I'm saying?
That's why we say so-called. Even the scriptures use the word black, but we know that we're not literally the color black. Black simply means dark skin. Like when we look up Kedar, which is one of the sons of Ishmael, he's listed as black. That's what his name actually means. In Genesis 25:13, and these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nabajoth, and Kedar, and Abdil, and Mibsam. And you look up Kedar in the Hebrew. And it means dark. Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, black skin man. But is he actually black? No, he's dark skinned. Another term that they used back in the day, tawny, swarthy, all these different terms. Like Benjamin Franklin, he used that to describe those Moors that were in Europe. Okay. All the people of that region were all people of color. They were all they had melanin. They were dark skinned, and they ranged. Okay, You the only people that didn't have that complexion. No melanin. So you came out red. You came out wasted. And that's how we can identify you to this day, even though it doesn't apply to every last person, because you got Israelites that are also that have no melanin. Okay, they have no pigmentation. So let's go back.
This is. Watch this again. So he knows the tint, the tone of the red of Esau from Genesis 25 somehow. But he also knows that the tint or the tone of red, identically describing David, must be within the spectrum that's acceptable to him. This is so.
No, I just showed the example. I use scriptural examples. All right. Why were they using the comparison of a hairy garment? Your hairy garments were made out of animal skin back then. And I found it in the law where they would actually dye ram skin red. So that comparison is being used because he came out red. Because hair doesn't determine your complexion. Obviously. But as for David, well, hey, his son Solomon is recorded saying that he's black but comely, as the tints of Kedar, the same Kedar that I just read about, the son of Ishmael, dark skin, black skinned man, but yet his father was red like Esau. You make that make sense?
So silly.
With red pigment. We can show that, right? Now, they will say, well, King David, that same word is used, but there's different shades of red. Even in the black community, we have red bones, yellow bones, we call our people that. But it tells you how Esau came out. Red like worm's blood, like a ram skin dyed red. That's how they did those blankets back then. Hairy, like that red blanket.
It does not say all the stuff he just said, by the way.
It does say that. You see how this man is the devil. He has to deny the truth so that he can disagree with your argument. But what Hakad just said in the example that he used is exactly what I just pulled out in this lesson, right? I went straight to the account to compare why they were even using that description for Esau. Exodus 26:14. They were literally dyeing ram skin to make their tents. What is he talking about? Explain why they use the comparison of a hairy garment to a baby. Explain that. Just like when it talks about the texture of the Lord's hair, and then it talks about the color of his head, right? His hair was white like snow, because it's compared to the color. The color of snow is straight up bright white. But it also uses the comparison of wool because of the texture of his hair. Okay? It was white as wool, as white as snow. Wool for the texture and snow for the color.
So he's trying to say he has some kind of textual information. And I know what he's trying to get at, by the way, but it's all poppycock and nonsense.
Stop it, bro. Because you say it's poppycock and nonsense. They literally said like it all over like a hairy garment. Why couldn't he use that example? So this is what we mean by, devils like him. All right. He really don't know what he think he knows. And he's very arrogant. But aren't you tired, man? It's been so many years now, bro. It's been many years and you still ain't really debunking anything. Your Your naive, delusional followers, they might believe you because the scriptures say the simple believe for every word. But you've been debunked for the last, damn, how many years it's been now? Like 8 years? But anyway, I'm gonna end it right there, man. So you see right there, you know, he's just dismissing what Deacon just said, and it's really just his own opinion. All right, because you don't want to believe the truth. All right, but you can see the point is already proven. Okay, this devil don't know what the hell he's talking about. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and to the next one, Shalom.